Hi guys, welcome back to Golden Reviewer. Today we are going to unbox a new device which is requested by many of my subscribers, the ASUS ROG Phone 3. Okay, many of you have told me that this is supposedly the best Android gaming device out there. It has the best performance, it will throttle the least, and you asked me to do a test on this, and I said, of course, why not? So here it is. I bought this device, just like all my other devices. I bought this with my own money. It's not sponsored by any manufacturer. So yeah, let's unbox it. You can see that it's still sealed. And of course, you can see some Chinese characters here. That's because this is an imported device from, I believe it's from China or from Hong Kong. Because I'm not sure whether this is officially available in Singapore. But anyway, I couldn't find it. So yeah, so I just imported it from China. And I believe the specs are the same. It's just OS will be a little bit different. Okay, that's the paper stuff. Let's see if they give a silicone case. Oh yes, there is a case, but it's not a transparent silicone case. Okay, what is it? Looks interesting. It's a hard plastic case, which is very thin and very light. It does not cover all the frames, right? It only covers the corners. But feels nice. Let's put it aside first. And of course, we don't need all this shit. Oh, the device itself. Okay. Looks nice. Put it aside first. Let's check out the accessories. 3.5mm headphone jack adapter, USB-C to C cable, and of course a power brick. So not sure whether you can see this clearly. It's 30 watt max. Okay, so it's a 30 watt fast charger. It's not the fastest on the market. Samsung has 45. Huawei has 60 or something. Xiaomi even goes to 120, right? But I guess it's fine. Okay, so let's put the box and the paper stuff aside first, and let's check out the device. First thing to say is that it's heavy. Alright, it feels very heavy in hand. I don't know exactly how much it weighs, but it definitely feels heavier than a normal device like the Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro or something like that. Maybe it's even heavier than the iPhone 12 Pro Max. But it's not exactly bulky. It just has the density in it. And the frame, okay. This is interesting. The Type-C port is here. I believe this design is to make sure that when you play the game like this, and you can still charge the device. So let's just let me just show you. All right, you can still game. You can still play your games unaffected, right? While if it's a normal device, you have the port in the middle, then no, it's going to there's no comfortable way for you to put your hands. All right, so that's a nice design there. Special design for gamers. And then you have the ROG logo here, which looks nice, and the back panel has a colorful shimmering to it. I don't know how to describe it. It's just reflect colors. Not sure whether you can tell from the camera. All right, and That's your, oh, and your stereo speaker. You can see here, there is one speaker here and another here. So both are front facing. And I believe that makes your audio experience better than those like side facing speakers, right? Like side facing or bottom facing, whichever way you put it. So this is supposed to sound better. And what else do we have? That's your power button, volume rocker, I believe. And here on the side, there is something. I believe those are buttons, maybe capacitive buttons. I don't know. Later when I turn on the device, let's check. And there is a small port here. There's a rubber cap you can remove, and it's a port. From what I see, there is ROG cooler which you can plug into the port. So just like the Xiaomi cooler, but you can draw power from the phone, so you don't have to have another USB Type-C cable dangling and affecting your gameplay, right? But maybe we are not going to use that. I didn't buy the cooler. And then your SIM card tray here. The camera, I see a triple camera. I'm not sure exactly what are the megapixels and focal length, but I guess that's not the point for this device, right? It's a gaming device. As long as there is a camera for you to do some random shooting, that's fine. Nobody is going to compare this against the best camera phones out there. Anyway, let's turn on the device. Oh, that's a fancy startup animation. I'll do the setup. Okay, now I'm setting up the in-display fingerprint sensor. I believe this is an optical fingerprint sensor, and the setup process feels almost the same as other devices with optical fingerprint sensor, right? I think they are just using the common solution anyway, and it's mostly the same. And let's try to see how fast is the fingerprint sensor, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so no complaints there. I think almost all the manufacturers has already got the fingerprint reader right. It's not like a few years ago. And this device actually has a squeeze sensor, like a pressure sensor on the two bezels. So you can see now I can set up the squeeze and let it to trigger some action. So you can see if I squeeze the thing, the pressure sensor will actually detect my squeezing, and you see, and I can set it up. Okay, now I've set up the device, and you can see that the screen to body ratio is not exactly amazing or exceptional. It's just normal. You still have a pretty large top and bottom bezels. I think it might be because they need to squeeze in the speaker, the stereo speakers, front-facing speakers, or maybe they just want to put a larger battery or better cooling that takes up space. Okay, I want to show you guys something. So there is this logo on the side of the box, and the device actually promote you to scan the logo. And once you do that, it will show you a very interesting AR animation, which I'm showing you here. It's very interesting. What is it? Is it something that is? Then I can press this start. Oh, okay. Is it a motorbike? Okay. So it's a game. Okay, fine. It's a game. I don't want to play it. But there is this X mode in the system settings. So you can see the desktop background, the launcher background is blue when the X mode is not turned on. And if I turn it on, it will actually become red to tell you that it's in sort of a high performance mode or something like that. And if I long press this, I can actually customize the X mode. Okay, so you can set refresh rate, sensitivity, and performance. Oh, okay, I see. To enable L3 level 3 performance mode, you have to get the cooler. Okay, that makes sense because apparently the device will be too hot without a cooler. But now I'm in L2 mode, level 2, which I believe is a more mild performance mode that is doable without a cooler. Okay. Okay, so the two buttons here and here, they are actually called air triggers, and there is a menu for you to customize these two buttons. Okay, as you can see, the air trigger ultrasonic buttons are located on the phone frame used for air trigger gestures. And once we go into the setting for these two trigger buttons, you have a few settings like visual, whether you enable visual when you touch the button, and vibration, and finger resting. So this is interesting. Actually, it says a continuous tapping. Finger does not need to leave the surface. So I believe if you just rest your finger there, it will actually register as a continuous tapping. And if you, let's say you set this button as the trigger button in PUBG Mobile, and you are using a semi-automatic weapon, it may just automatic fire, right? Sounds a bit cheaty to me, but yeah, I guess who cares? Because you see, this device is actually released together with Tencent Games, right? So there it is, you have official support for cheating. And then you can set the tap pressure. So this is actually a very pressure sensitive button. You see, as I vary the force I apply on the button, this thing will change. Okay. Actually the button, each of these buttons contains two sensitive areas. So you can see I press the outer layer, or I can press the outer area and the inner area. So in total, you have 4 customizable buttons. But of course, if you don't want to do so precise controls, you don't have to set this, right? And then of course, it also supports swipe. You see, I can swipe out, swipe in, and you can set this to trigger something. And then lastly, you have swipe. It's just like a touch screen, I believe. You can put your finger, you can stop at anywhere. And actually, I can't think of too much use for all this fancy stuff. I think the simple touch function is just the best. You can just map it to a trigger, and it will allow you to play games more easily, right? And talking about display refresh rate, this device can support up to 144 Hz, which is same as the Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro, right? And you can choose anything between 60 to 144. And just to recap on the specs of this device, as you can see here, it has a 1080p display up to 144 Hz, and it has a Snapdragon 865 SoC. There are versions with 865 Plus as well, but I didn't buy that. The reason being that from my own testing, the Snapdragon 865 Plus is not worth it, right? It sacrifices too much on power consumption, and the energy efficient is just not good. I think 865 is good enough. The performance gain of 865 Plus is marginal. I don't think it's even noticeable. So if I were you, I wouldn't buy a 865 Plus just for the sake of it, right? And it's running on Android 10. It's not the latest. I would like Android 11, but yeah, let's wait for system update. And 12 gigabytes of RAM. My device has 128 gigs of ROM, but I think you can choose to top up to 512 gigs, right? But since this is just a review device, I didn't buy the top spec model. Okay, and just now I noticed the ROG light is actually lighting up and it looks cool. And there is a full set of settings for this light itself, and you can see you have music, flash in rhythm with media song, or you have all these different settings. In X mode, it can cycle between powers and sync with phone. I think if your friend is also using ROG, you can actually sync the lighting between all the devices, which is interesting. So let's try the sync with music function. I'll actually play a music here and see how the light behaves. Okay. It's not syncing exactly as I wish it to, but I guess it's fine. And of course, you can put on the original case for the device, and it won't block your light, right? You paid for that light. You want people to be able to see it. And this case is actually quite good. I like it. It's light. It doesn't add too much weight to the device because it's already such a heavy device. And it doesn't make the device wider because all the sides, there's nothing on the sides. But it still provides quite good protection all around the corners. You see all the corners are well protected. So overall, I like this case. I think it's a good case. Okay guys, so just now I ran some benchmark on this device, and I'll quickly show you the results. This is Geekbench 5. As you can see, we got 920 for single core and 3.2K for multi-core, which is about there for all the Snapdragon 865 devices. So no surprise there. It's not performing better or worse. Almost all the 865 devices are like that. And for Antutu, I also run the Antutu, and the result you can see here is it scored over 600,000, which is pretty impressive. And more impressive is that the temperature almost didn't rise that much. The temperature only went up by 2.8 degrees, and the battery dropped 3%, which is also quite good. I've seen 4%, 5% on other devices. So keep in mind that this device itself has a 6,000 mAh battery, which is huge compared to other devices. It is the hugest battery I've ever tested, right? So I actually expect some amazing battery life from this device. And we have the 3D Mark stress test, and this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. See the stability? 99.5% stable. That means your performance is basically just a straight line. It does not throttle for 20 loops of the 3D Mark, the wildlife stress test, right? Under extreme high stress, it does not throttle for over 20 minutes. This is amazing, and I've never seen any device like that. If you've seen my previous unboxing or test, the Xiaomi will throttle a bit, the iPhone throttles, the Samsung throttles, everything throttles, but this is a beast. And I really look forward to the game test of this device. Okay, with that being said, I think that's all for today's unboxing video. And of course, at the same time, I'll start my gaming tests on this device. I'll test all the common games, and as usual, I'll show you the FPS, performance, and battery life, and everything, right? So subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share it to your friends, and stay tuned for my future videos. See you next time.